Hello, my darlings, another adventure. We're traveling around the world in one day with my irreplaceable, irresistible, unmistakable, remarkable, best of the best creators, my friends. Not one, not two, all of us 23 are hosts. Please watch the playlist from all our videos. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of fun, and on top of it, we are giving away a huge mysterious giveaway. And stick around to see what's the chances for you to enter this giveaway, and you're gonna have until August 6th midnight. Today with my creations, I'm gonna take you to the place that I was born and raised, Macedonia, the country with a lot of heart, history, and a good, loving, friendly people. That's what we are. So let's just get started. DIY number one. I'm taking you to my city, Bitola. As you can see on that DIY number one picture, that's a fountain that I printed out on a transfer sheet. Galvanized Dollar Tree sign. And what I'm doing now with the help of Liquitex, I put the sign upside down and overnight let it dry, and it's done. Now I'm using a Mod Podge just to make it nice and glossy. Next, mirror from Dollar Tree, and adding the sign on top of it. Wood plaque. I'm trying to measure a middle, making a hole so we can add the wooden dowel. And when all that is done and glue in the middle, I'm gonna add a twine around that dowel to make it a little bit like a vintagey looking. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just rolling the twine, and when all that is done, I'm gluing the sign on top of that. And just to make it more sturdy, adding 4 blocks on the bottom. I'm gonna cover that with the twine as well. I made a bow with the twine, and I'm gluing it on the bottom. When all that is done, I'm using a lighter just to get rid of the extra pieces from the twine. And now I'm using wood wax, to bring more details to our tray centerpiece. And our first DIY is nice, done, and complete. DIY number 2. I'm gonna create a beautiful historic art. I'm using a 12 by 24 canvas. I removed the material because I want to use the beautiful wooden frame on the canvas to show. So what I'm doing now, I'm measuring 4 lines, 2 on top and 2 on the bottom, so I can paint them. I'm adding a tape so we can have a straight lines on both sides. And now I'm using a red acrylic paint from Dollar Tree for those lines. I'm removing the tape on one of the top. I did the same process on the bottom lines too. Now when the lines are dry, I'm covering them with the tape again. And this time I'm using a yellow paint. Yellow and red are specific for our Macedonian flag. So that's why I'm using those 2 colors. When all that is nice and dry, what I'm doing is now I'm staining my wood frame with a wood stain. And now I'm gonna staple back the canvas material. And when all that is done, I'm gonna cut the extra pieces. I'm also distressing the canvas with a brown color, just a little bit with a dry brush, just to make it like a vintagey looking. And now I got these 3D letters, gluing them on the canvas. It's gonna say Aleksandar Makedonski. And on the middle, I'm adding this armor that I found at the kids section in Dollar Tree, and it came out beautiful, representing our Aleksandar the Great, King of Macedonia, soldier from history. DIY number 3. Now, here is our Aleksandar the Great with his horse. I printed out on a transfer sheet. I got a wooden plaque using a Liquitex, putting it on, and with a roller, make sure I don't have any air between the paper and the wood, and let it dry overnight. And now I'm removing those two pieces, and it came out beautiful. It came out like I painted out. So after that, I'm gonna use the wood stain again, just to make it more vintagey looking. And our number 3 project is almost done. Adding tumbling blocks on the corners to look like the sun. When all that is glued, I'm adding a wood stain as well. To add more details, I added a rope on the wooden square, and our project is done. If you would like to enter for the huge giveaway, you need to write down a word world in each and every video on our playlist. Good luck. DIY number 4. Round sign from Dollar Tree. Letters as well from Dollar Tree, using them as a stencil. Painting with a plaster chalk paint. And when the sign is dry, I'm removing those letters. And now to make more details on the letters Macedonia, I'm using a marker for each letter. When all that is done, I printed out Macedonian Flag on a transfer sheet and a Liquitex. And look what happened when the plaster paint is not dry. So the transfer didn't work. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just trying to measure those lines, add extra lines so I know where to paint. And I'm painting over the flag with a yellow and a red color. When you make a transfer, make sure you use it on a dry paint. Now when all that is done, I'm airbrushing it with a brown color. And with a raffia, I made a bow, and I'm gonna put it in the corner. And now I'm using those snake wooden pieces, and I'm gonna make them a frame for my round sign. I'm using a hot glue and gluing them, and here you go. Now I'm using a lighter just to get rid of the glue on the side. I'm gluing the bow, and our sign is done. DIY number 5. I'm using 8x10 canvas from Dollar Tree. I'm removing it from the wood frame. Same thing like I did for my other art that I did on this video. I'm just removing it. And now Liquitex, I printed out a picture from my city, Bitola. Transfer sheet, same process like the others. Overnight, I'm removing those two pieces, and that's it. Applying Mod Podge for protection. Stapling the canvas back to the wood frame. Distressing the wood frame, adding those metal dots on each corner, and our art is done. We're moving to the next project. I have this glass bottle from Dollar Tree. I printed out a picture of Mary, Saint Mary and Jesus, and I'm gonna add those white stones from Dollar Tree. So I'm gluing them all over the bottle, just like so. And we're gonna make a nice, beautiful, traditional bottle with our saints. When the stones are glued on the bottle, I'm using a twine for the handle, and on top couple of layers of twine as well. And our bottle is done. My last project today, DIY number 7. I got those 3 trays from Dollar Tree. I printed out Macedonian flag. I cut off the portion of it, and I'm gonna use them for the front of my trays. I Mod Podge it. Before I remove the hinges, just to Mod Podge those Macedonian flag pieces. And now I'm putting those metal hinges back. And when all that is done, I'm gonna add the wooden dowels. I need 8 of them. And I'm gluing them with a Gorilla hot glue. And I'm layering the boxes on it. on top of the dowels. The 2 rows are done. I'm going to the 3rd one. Same thing. And that's it. My tier tray is done. Now to add extra pieces, as you know me, I'm always gotta add extra. I'm adding those metal chains from Dollar Tree. I cut them on half and I'm gonna put them in each of those wooden dowels. When all that is done, I use a wood stain, and that's it. My tray is done. And this is my final reveal from all my beautiful project from my beautiful Macedonia. I hope you guys enjoy watching me while I was creating as much as I enjoyed, and my heart went back to my country again. And I hope I brought you a little pieces of my country to your homes. Се надевам дека уживавте во моите креации, што ви ги донесов од мојата далечна Македонија, од мојот преубав град Битола. Ви ја препорачувам да ја одгледате плејлистата од сите мои пријателки креаторки, затоа што секоја една се потруди да патува околу светот денес со нивните креации. Ве сакам и ви посакувам се најубаво. So, my final reveal, as you can see, I put some greeneries, some shot glasses with Macedonian flags, icons from Mary and Jesus, the bottle we created, and this is another saint, Sveta Petka. Our Macedonia is full of churches, monasteries, history, saints. In this jar, there is a spread made out of pepper, traditional Macedonian food called ajvar. And those are the parts of my city, Bitola, the place where I was born and raised until I was 19. Bitola, moj roden kraj. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm sending you a lot of music, positive energy, lots of love from me to you. Watch the playlist, enter the giveaway, and enjoy every one of us today on the playlist.